Hey there, football fans. Welcome to Goalside! Before we start, don't forget to participate in our lottery for a chance to win a $100 Amazon gift card. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to our channel, and write the hidden message you'll find later in this video in the comments. Good luck. Football is perhaps more than any other sport an example of sportsmanlike behavior and good spirit on the pitch. However, there are some exceptions to the rule, and today we'll take a look at some of the biggest offenders. Luis Suarez biting Chiellini. It happened once, it happened twice, and then it happened a third time. Luis Suarez had a notorious reputation for no less than biting the opposing players. He did it in both Ajax and Liverpool, as all the weight of the world was on his shoulders after the second incident with Premier League spotlight on him. Just a couple of months later, the World Cup was at the door. While Uruguay lost their first match to Costa Rica without Suarez, they took the win 2-0 upon his return, with the striker scoring a brace. And now it was time for a big showdown in Italy. In the middle of the second half, Suarez went out of this world, doing what he did twice in the past. He bit Italy's Giorgio Chiellini in the shoulder. The referee didn't notice it, and to make matters worse, Uruguayan scored the only goal of the match later on, knocking out the unfortunate Azzurri. Verratti's goal against Bastia. Paris Saint-Germain are by far the strongest club in France in recent years. Thus, this makes Verratti's move that much worse. The Parisians were playing against Bastia in Ligue 1 match. PSG were already in a 1-0 lead when Blaise Matuidi seemingly fell down with an injury near Bastia's goal. The opposition goalkeeper, Jean-Louis Lecca, checked up on Matuidi while the ball was still in play. Most of the players on the pitch stopped too, all but Marco Verratti. The Italian shot the ball anyway, despite the opposing goalkeeper helping Verratti's own teammates. He scored, making it 2-0, but such a despicable move will always mark the midfielder's career, no matter how good he is. Pepe stomping on Messi. El Clásicos between 2009 and 12 were wild, to say the least. So when the rivalry peaked in 2012, Barcelona and Real Madrid met at the Bernabeu in the La Liga Clásico. Messi was and still is the source of frustration for Los Blancos, especially for their defenders, Sergio Ramos and Pepe. But Pepe probably crossed the line when he stomped on Messi's hand with his foot while the Argentinian was already on the ground because of a previous tackle. Leeds goal versus Aston Villa. Championships can be a spectacular competition at times. So it was once Leeds United met Aston Villa while both teams were aiming for promotion last season. So Villa's team asked for their opposition to throw the ball out of play. Just when Leeds' player stopped, everyone thought he was going to kick the ball out of play. But then, shock! He played a through ball for his winger, who went on to score. Villa's players were cheated and furious, but the goal stood. However, Marcelo Bielsa saved his team's face by ordering his players to move aside and let Villa score. Douglas Costa spits at DeFrancesco. Costa isn't known for his perfect behavior on the pitch. However, he took it a step too far once Juve played Sassuolo in Serie A. After a short confrontation with Federico Di Francesco, the Brazilian directly spit in his opponent's mouth. Ugh. This later resulted in a 4-match ban for Costa, who didn't repeat anything like it ever since. Pepe kicking cascade. It's our old friend again, Pepe. His time at Real Madrid was an interesting one, but the biggest outburst of vileness and recklessness arrived against Getafe. It was a Tuesday night, and Pepe was out of control. After Casquero was through on goal, the Portuguese came behind his back, kicking him in the ground and then further going at the poor Casquero like an MMA fighter. It was a foul described as an assault, and even worse, Madrid concealed a penalty, although Iker Casillas was on top of it, saving the penalty. Ramos fouls Messi. As you probably noticed by now, how Clásicos back in the day were something else. However, a common denominator for most of those Clásicos was Barcelona's domination and Ramos receiving red cards. Perhaps his worst red card came in 2010 while Barca were demolishing Madrid with a 5-0 lead at the Bernabeu. Messi took the ball in the middle, did his magic getting past Ramos, but the Spaniard was sick of it. So he kicks Messi with his full strength, pushes his national team captain Puyol afterward, deserving a red card with no doubts whatsoever. Zidane headbutts Materazzi. This was the biggest stage of them all, the World Cup final 2006. France and Italy met, and it was an exhilarating match going all the way to extra time. Just as the match was approaching penalties, Zidane did what he shouldn't have done. He headbutted Materazzi after the Italian insulted his family repeatedly prior. To make things worse, France lost the penalty shootout without their captain, and Materazzi recovered from the headbutt very quickly. Maradona handball. Everyone knows what this one is. Argentina faces England in the 1986 semis in a historic tie that marked one of the best individual performances of all time. However, the individual performance we're talking about, Maradona's, had something extra to it. He jumps towards the ball as if he's going to head it into the goal, but when he realizes that he can't reach it, Maradona hits it with his hand, and that would turn out to be the decider, knocking England out of the competition. Moreno poking Tito Vilanova. Back to El Clásico rivalries. When Moreno and Pep rivalry reached its peak, Vilanova was the one who paid the price. The Portuguese poked Pep's assistant Tito Vilanova in the eye. It was one of the low points of Moreno's career, and he enhanced it by purposefully spelling Villanova's name incorrectly in an interview after the match.